right, let's talk about what everybody's talking about. Andy, get your views. What we saw and witnessed yesterday down in
Travesty.
Manhattan. The prosecution, the persecution. What do you call it?
It's just a travesty. I mean, this is it has bizarre elements to it, but it's happening. It's not some lurid fantasy anymore. And it's really destroying our legal system. I listened to something that Marco Rubio apparently made some sort of spontaneous video, like from his car or something like that. He was just, you could see he was distraught. You could hear it certainly in his voice
Oh,
that he was distraught. And remember, there were fireworks between Rubio and Trump. I mean, they're not, and I don't think they personally care for each other. But Rubio just said that a Rubicon had been crossed,
yeah.
and that you're going to see all these petty lawsuits back and forth. Now, Mike, one thing that's interesting is that at a certain point, it's almost like mutually assured destruction.
Yes, it is. Well, look what happened with the filibuster on judicial appointments, right? The left did it first on regular nominees, and the right did it on Supreme Court nominees, and it ended up the left lost big time in that because they got a 6-3 majority because of Trump on the Supreme Court. But all thanks to Tom Daschle and the Democrats for overstepping and overreaching, just like Bragg is overreaching here. Andy, what this really is just another example of how the left is weaponizing government, how those,
Yes.
my term, those political supremacists who think they know best, who think they know what they believe has to be forced upon you and me. They don't care about the rules. They'll do whatever it takes to get their way and destroy those who stand in their way. I mean, that's probably what Marco Rubio was saying. I didn't hear his speech, and that's pretty much what Trump was saying in his speech. But that's what's going on here. They sit in these seats of power, and they don't care about conventional wisdom. They don't care about precedent. They don't care about rules. They're going to do it their way.
Well, I finally heard last night Victor Davis Hanson, who's always very cautious and reluctant to say these things. He said we're living in revolutionary times.
It is.
What progressive? He called it progressive revolutionary times. I would just say there's a thick red thread from the 1920s till now, which shows that this is sort of the triumphal phase of a Marxist revolution that we're witnessing right before our eyes. And one of the things I think Republicans have to accept. They're so squeamish about this, but this I think is what Marco Rubio was getting at, and he was uncomfortable with it, but he was almost saying it as in resignation that we're going to have to see prosecutions of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden by state because that's the only thing that the neo-Marxist left understands. That's the only possible thing that could stop them. Just I don't think anything stops them, but something has to be done in retaliation, Mike. Otherwise, the non neo-Marxists in this country are just going to continue to lose.
Yeah, I would say as much as clearly they have the Marxist tendencies, that they're also exhibiting, monarchical, of a monarch, and the irony there is we fought our independence to get away from kings and ruling classes. And now these political supremacists have appointed themselves to be the de facto monarchs and kings and queens of our country. And when you have we've all heard the term, and I like my funnies. But when we have, like you just said, when we destroy our judicial system, the greatest judicial system ever created, and turn it into just nothing but a political weapon, we do become a banana republic.